Hello everyone. In this video, I would like to honestly talk about a very pressing matter in the anime community. Not only just the anime community, but just the pro-blurred slash pro-black anime community. My thing, and also just my concerns, would be just the fact of everyone and their mother, most of the whole goddamn community, talks about how Namekians are black or green characters, which are off color characters are black. Okay, maybe there might be an anime out there that I'm not aware of aside from Dragon Ball Z. I'll give you that. Maybe there are green skinned characters that can be known as black or seen as black, but the Namekian race from Dragon Ball Z, I can't see them as black 100%. Now, the only reason why I say that, and this is my reasoning why, and this is more of like a historical and PowerPoint to also power leveling point to also just other points of just the whole argument itself when it comes to my side of things. And no, it's not me being negative and it's not me trying to choose somebody else. No, it's just me being realistic as a whole when it comes to Dragon Ball Z people. My thing is just the fact that Dragon Ball Z, when it comes to the Namekian race, they're more Native American. To me, they're more Native American versus black. Only reasons why is because one, they're peaceful people. They're peaceful and they're chill. Most of the time, they're always peaceful and chill on their planet. They're not going to do much. They're not going to do that many things. And then on top of that, it's like they're so goddamn peaceful. In theory, hypothetically, I don't even think there's not that many warriors in the whole race when it comes to like fighters or people who can stand their grounds in a fight. Namekians can fight. They have shown that they are pretty strong and their own power leveling can be either respected or it can be just the fact that they could be pretty good fighters. But here's the thing though, people. They're not up there though. They're not overpowered. Heck, when it comes to power tournament, when those two Namekians from like the whole Universe 6 roster come and say, well, we're the last fighters. We're going to hold it down and we'll make sure Universe 6 wins and survives from the tournament of power. Niggas been making memes about just the fact that these two Namekians are going to make a whole claim that we could win between both of us because of the fact of our whole planet of Namekians, brethren, basically brethren in general, just fused together. All their powers are fused together themselves with us two as the representatives of the planet, of the Namekian race. That right there was just funny and comedic to most people in the community. They have made memes. They have pointed out that, no, fam, I'm sorry, but sit down. Sit down or just take the L. And then just also at the same time, while taking the L, pray that some universe, whoever wins, whether Universe 11 or Universe 7, when they win, they they basically they use Super Dragon Balls to wish back your universe. That's all that you can do. You can't do that much with only your power levels being but so strong or so formidable. There's a different there's in life and just in general when it comes to anime, there's always a difference between power leveling. Power leveling sometimes don't mean shit sometimes, but then there are other times where it's like power leveling does mean something when you're like comparing and contrasting a warrior who has strong ass potential or has pretty good potential versus a warrior or fighter that's leagues above you or leagues up there where they either are up there and they're at their peak and they're that damn strong, or they're around here where it's like, yeah, you're low, you have potential, but at the same time, even though you're low, you have potential in you to go up that further and more higher. That's the Saiyans. That's why I would like to say Saiyans are more black versus the Namekians, only because of the fact that Saiyans, when it comes to Dragon Ball Z as a universe, they are either called by monkey. They are either called by monkeys by Frieza, which, given in fact by appearance, he looks pale white, and he always calls the Saiyan race monkeys. And it's not just the fact. I don't even think it's just the fact that it's because they have Saiyan tails, but it's just the fact of, well, they have Saiyan tails. And then on top of that, if we all think about it, even though there was a certain percentage of a partnership between the Saiyans and the Frieza Force, or just Frieza and Frost's like family lineage of trying to either destroy or take planets and sell them and whatever. It's just the fact that I would like to say that with the Saiyan race combined with Frieza's lineage, it's just the fact that, how to say this, it was more like indirect slavery in a sense. The only reason why I say it's indirect slavery is because of the fact of, one, they're either called by monkeys by Frieza, and then two is also the fact of Frieza and, let's just be honest here, people, Frieza and Frost to even like King Cold, all of all their whole family lineage, when it comes to low level Saiyans that are purely based rank and don't know much about like the hypothetical of us, a Legend of the Super Saiyan being real, that leads the Saiyans to a disadvantage. It's a little disadvantage, like I'll probably give about like 40 or 50% disadvantage, but yet at the same time, it's yet still a disadvantage because you don't know your knowledge of how strong or how capable you could be to overthrow Frieza's, family lineage, and you won't always have to be under their boot or always per se have to be under their like protection or under their rule of what you have to do or what you have to do when it comes to objectives, whether it be which planet you go or what you can do to either take over or destroy certain planets. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way if you knew stuff about like this whole hypothetical of the Super Saiyan, um, like what's the word? Conspiracy or theory of a hypothesis. Because let's be honest here. Let's just be honest here. When Planet Salad or Sadal, well, when the Saiyans did take over, they called it technically Planet Vegeta. Around that time, essentially, the Saiyans didn't know much about their whole hypothetical power being that powerful or having the potential to go that far or go that high around that base level, only because of the fact of they just didn't know their own true strength or their own knowledge. They knew that they had the potential, and they know that they they knew that they can also fix themselves and just improve because they know they have Zenkai boost, which means basically in near death experience they can get power. They get way more stronger, more powerful in a fight when they're in a near death experience, or in a fight where they get an ass whooping and they have full bruises and just had critical physical injuries in a sense. Not critical, sometimes not critical where, how to say this, it's not sometimes critical where it's like you're about to die, but critical injuries where it's like you're a little fucked up or just a little messed up, but you can still essentially fight a little bit. I'll give you pretty good examples. Pretty good examples would be, I guess, in like the Android saga with Gohan. Gohan lost his whole arm in one alternative universe where in the future with the androids, mainly 17 and 18, when they ruled and they was creating carnage and chaos all over the place in future Trunks' like alternative like universe. Um future Gohan lost a whole arm. Now that I would like to say that that's an example of basically either it's an in between of either like a near death experience to a pretty fatal physical injury where you can still fight. Other two other good examples would be this mainly Vegeta, but let's just be honest, Vegeta got most of his ass beatings anyways, so he's a good example. Vegeta either got his arms fractured or broken by 18. At least one of his arms broken or fractured by 18 when in the Android saga. And another good example is in the Buu saga. He literally got his ass beat, like with full of bruises and punches and whatever. But I would arguably say that it wasn't a near death experience. Some fights in the Buu saga there were near death experiences, but sometimes it was just a plain pummeling, whether it be Fat Boo or whether it be Kid Boo. Kid Boo was more of another situation where it's ass whooping pummel, or it's more of like a severe like life crisis of you're either going to die or you're going to live after this, because Kid's more of like a savage and warrior versus Boo. Boo will play with your ass or just read how strong you are before he's either done playing with you and turned you into chocolate, or he just keeps on pummeling your ass and just play with you again and again, as long as you keep entertained or just keep him at a certain place or whatever. Fat Boo original Boo is kind of hard to read versus Kid Boo and Super Boo. They're more malicious and a little bit more villainous in a sense, because well, they just don't play any games. They here to kill and they here to fight. That's it. Fat Boo, he had more of a chance to be good, and that's how we have him in the Z Fighter roster. But that's besides the point. It's still the fact of just, long story short, Saiyans, whether knowing that they can go Super Saiyan, or they know that they can get stronger in base form to also having their like great ape forms. All of those are signs of them being black people. Not only just the negative derogatory term of being called monkey by Frieza, but it's also just the fact of they have potential to become stronger and way more dangerous as a race versus the Namekians. The Namekians, no offense, but they didn't have much of a cloth or much of a name to hold their ground or no, hold their title with it. They're only like two individuals as a whole, as a goddamn whole, that can hold their own when it comes to this argument. And that's King Piccolo, the OG King Piccolo, skinny, like skinny old strong built King Piccolo back in like Dragon Ball. He can hold his own name title of being a strong fighter because he didn't give a damn. Like, he was strong, he came to Earth, and he just wanted to conquer and fight. That's it. That's all he wanted to do until Kid Goku came in and he challenged him and he killed his ass right there and then. But before he killed his ass, that's when King Piccolo gave birth to young Junior Piccolo, or Piccolo Junior. And the only reason how he became a villain, as Deku would say in Jump Force, which this is why I said Deku is not too far off, because Piccolo was an antagonist in Dragon Ball, but it's just, yeah, like that's how Piccolo became an antagonist or a villain, in a sense, back in Dragon Ball. Piccolo Junior per se. It's not only because he has his genes of the original King Piccolo, before you had Kami, or another version of Piccolo, at like the Sky Pillar hangout where Corn is and stuff. It's also the fact of, if you look back when Piccolo was a kid and he could stand up and move and just do whatever as a toddler or as a child in general, it's more of the fact that he became like an antagonist because of human nature. He became an antagonist because of human nature. He was pretty chill or pretty neutral in a sense, where it's like, okay, you're a toddler. Even though you have your father's genes, you're still a toddler. You can still have a chance of either going the right way of doing things or doing the wrong thing of doing things, or being a fucked up dick of a person. And because of humans being a dick to him one way or the other, or seeing him being strange or different, that's how you have Piccolo Jr. become a strong ass antagonist or villain because of those things. But aside from that, long story short, like I said before, Namekians, I still strongly say that they're more Native American versus black people because of the fact of when Frieza's army came in and initially looking for the Namekian version of the Dragon Balls, they either just killed off a few of the Namekians, and then on top of that, their planet was pretty much like in trouble of either getting destroyed or almost getting taken away from like all this shenanigans and BS that's going on with the Frieza Force and maybe a little bit of like Vegeta being there a little bit, but that's it. There wasn't no potential thing of what's the how do I say this? There wasn't no like long longevity type of thing or prolonged longevity that was going on with the Namekian race. Their their situation was more like their planet slash like land was getting taken away from them, and on top of that, they only have but so many fighters that can stand their ground. Whether it be Piccolo himself has the initiative or has his own like I guess what's the word his own morals where it's like yeah he may be somewhat of a dick especially at that time he was still somewhat of a dick he was still turning good slowly, but he's still somewhat of a dick. He was so much of a dick. Even Nail was like, "Look, brother, I'm about to die. Let me fuse with you. Let me meld and fuse with you, so you can become stronger, or my power can at least go on within your body, and you can hold on to my legacy as you have my power energy within inside your body and stuff." And yet, again, this is where I put my emphasis on Piccolo was somewhat of a dick, but he still hold his race pretty high to himself to say, well, look, y'all my race. Even though I'm still somewhat of a dick, y'all still my race. I'm still going to protect um, my planet as much as possible, or my home lineage as much as possible, no matter what the cause is or what the case is. I'm going to try to do it. And as this, interaction was going on with Nail and Piccolo, Piccolo is like, all right, I will take it. I will take your energy. But here's the thing, though, when we meld, this is my body and my power that you're technically giving to me. This is your power that you're passing on to me, but your subconsciousness is not going to take over the wheel. This is my subconsciousness and my mind is going to be taking over the wheel and taking over it. That's it. You cannot take over my body. And those were the conditions. And that's why I say Piccolo was somewhat of a dick, but at the same time he was still wanting to make his own like choices. But hold on a second. So this video has became like 18 minutes long. So I guess I will call this a part one at base when it comes to my argument of making race be more of Native American versus, how should I say this, being fully black. And I guess it was the right way for me to go by this when it comes to bringing up this argument, only because, like I said before, Saiyans to me, I feel like they're more black than the Namekians only because they have more potential to get stronger, to become more powerful. The Namekians, it's like that's way different. Their chemistry when it comes to their race is way different. Whether it be backgrounds of some of their race got killed off, like some of their people got killed off, to also their land almost getting taken away or getting destroyed, similar to Native Americans. Then on top of that, they're a peaceful, chill race, and they're very respectful as well too. That, if anything else, as long as you if you did visit the planet just as much as uh let me try to remember, as King Kai would say, like one of Goku's first teachers, he says, well, look, if you even like visit the planet, it's not that bad of a planet. It's very visitable, and it can and you can also just be chill with them. Even when it comes to their leader, the chief of like um the whole Namekian race, he was very, I forgot who his name was sadly, but like yeah, he was very chill. And I would call him just the grandfather of the Mexicans or whatever. But it's just, yeah, he was very chill up in his chair, and he kind of like read everybody's like power energy, like key energy slash, I guess, somewhat of their personality slash souls in a sense, where they like there's no hostility here. When Krillin and Gohan was in his domain and was just chilling in his chair, as a grandfather would be in a sense. It was his old wrinkly self. And before he passed on or died or whatever, he necessarily didn't die in Dragon Ball. All he did was probably just pass on or just passed away in this chair. That's it. Because he only had but so much long to live in a very old age that he was in as a condition. But before he passed on, he did this favor to Gohan and Krillin, especially Gohan. He put his hands over both of them and he opened up their potential, their stored up power reserve energy in their bodies to, increase their potential to fight and have their fighting like performances heightened in a sense. So again, that's why I would like to say Namekians are strongly the same as Native Americans, only because that's the same thing with Native Americans when the Pilgrims arrived, in a sense. They were way more, whether you see the whole Native American plot with Thanksgiving, whether it's how should I say this? It's the cover of the book where it's a peaceful ending to whether you go inside the book of the pages of the book and you see the dark secrets of the like book's cover. By the end of the day, that's what the Native Americans did slash Namekians did. They offered they were a chill people. They were hospitable as long as you weren't that hostile. And yeah, they were just chill people. They even offered their bread or their food to whoever it was that visited them or whatever. Now, in some ways, that they have some contingencies, like I said before, with the Namekians, they have some small squads or group of people, maybe one or two group of people of Namekians that can hold their own and can fight for other Namekians that can't fight or does not choose to fight. That's it. But other than that, yeah, Namekians are just the same or similar as in Native Americans. I wouldn't say that they wouldn't be 100% black. They might have some black attributes or characteristics, but not fully black. I'm sorry, but that's just my argument. This is my part one of my video. I'm about to make my part two in a minute. Thank you for watching, whoever watched this, and bye. Please leave a like, and also please subscribe if you want to subscribe. Thank you. Bye.